A number of environments on our planet remain completely divided from the human world. A massive fissure rends the ground. It is known as the Devil's Gorge.
त्यो त अझै गाड त अब उकालो चढ्न सक्दैन अनि नदिया पसेपछि मर्छ.
At one of the Earth's highest regions, deep within the Himalayas, below the distinctly sharp ridges jutting from the ground, the ravines run deep, with only impenetrable darkness visible beneath. They're more than 10 meters wide and more than 200 meters deep. No human had ever seen the bottom. This ravine is called the Seti Gorge. Its peculiar topography is the result of one highly unusual geological event. Two men step forward to explore the uncharted abyss. International canyon explorers Tanaka Akira and Onishi Ryoji.
はい、これから谷の底へ下降します。
In 2022, they attempted a previously unheard of challenge. Descending a 400-meter tall wall of sheer rock, they encountered the massive waterfall beneath. Danger waited at every turn. They literally staked their lives on the expedition. This bold adventure reveals the truths of the Himalayas that gave birth to such a majestic yet ominous gorge. To visit a realm entirely unknown to man, an unprecedented challenge is about to commence. Despite mankind's efforts to set foot on every location hidden across the earth, there are those that have remained just out of reach. In central Nepal, piercing the sky with its 7,000-meter peaks, is the Annapurna mountain range. The hallowed mountains, which take their name from the goddess of food and nourishment, conceal deep gorges among them. Many scientists have taken notice of the chasms. Sakai Harutaka has studied the geology of the Himalayas for half a century.
これはフランスの地質調査チームが作ったアンナプルナ地域の地質図です。ここをご覧になると分かる通り、セティ川の源流地域だけこんな風に真っ白く取り残されているわけです。ここには大絶壁があって、あんなとこはいけないということで、どの国の人たちもここでその調査を諦めて帰ってきていると。
Among the uncharted white space in the basin surrounded by the Annapurna Mountains, a section of the Seti River forms a deep chasm. Satellite imagery measured the chasm as continuing for around 5 kilometers from an elevation of 3,500 meters. The Seti Gorge is narrow and deep to an extent that is rare in the natural world. The factors behind the unique landscape remain shrouded in mystery. A gorge generally refers to a deep valley walled in by cliff faces, oftentimes making them difficult to study. The expanse of Seti Gorge is among the world's largest. Until now, none had volunteered to descend the Seti Gorge, so researchers like Sakai had grown no closer to understanding it. November 2022. Tanaka and Onishi arrive in Nepal.
Ah, そこ。もう見たらわかりますよ。ちょっと雲に隠れちゃったけど、あそこにマチャプチャレがあって、アンナプルナ3があって、下の間、あそこ。
They follow the Seti River. At a village upstream, the locals view the river with fear.
यो सेती खोला चाहिँ भयङ्कर उर्लिएर आएर चाहिँ यो राक्षसी हो यो अजिङ्गर हो
The local shaman prays for the safety of their expedition.
लौपडामा चाहिँ रक्षा गर्दैन केही नभओस् राम्रोसँग माथि गयो राम्रोसँग फर्केर आउनु पाओस् आफूले गरेको काम सफलता भओस् के गर्नु खोजेको छ त्यो पुरा भओस्
チェックしに行きます。
bottom of the Seti Gorge. Jumping into the rushing 3 degrees Celsius flow, they press onward in their survey. Their measurements show that the shallower area where they began runs up to 260 meters deep. 30 waterfalls line the canyon, but even more awe-inspiring sights await them. As they travel upstream, the valley around them grows to a startling scale. Ahead of them is the main gorge, with a depth more than double that of the shallower sections. Even further on, the confining narrow gorge is hidden entirely from view. With this expedition, they set their sights on conquering the two gorges. In February 2023, the team returns. They start out at an elevation of 3,900 meters, ahead of where the gorge begins. In view is the 7,555 meter tall goddess of food and nourishment, Annapurna III. To the east towers its sister, the 7,525 meter Annapurna IV.
いや、寒い。マイナス8度でしたっけ。これから沢に行くなんてね、ちょっと思えない雰囲気ですね、これはね。
Tanaka deliberately chose to make this expedition in the heart of winter. More of the mountain is frozen, reducing the water volume of the rivers.
いや、あと少しですよ。まあしかしそれにしてもすごい。
The pointed peaks casting their shadows across the gorge are each over 200 meters tall. It's an immense scale that can only be grasped from within. 90 minutes since they began, they've reached the entrance to the gorge at an elevation of 3,500 meters.
ようやくゴルジュの入り口に入ってきました。
Directly under the peaks, this is the true beginning of the Seti Gorge. First, they'll take on the narrow gorge. As the least spacious section, they have no idea what may wait inside. To progress onward, they intend to use their rope to descend, then follow the flow of water. A rope lowered at the exit point will be used to return to the surface. The day of the expedition has come. They change into the kind of fully waterproof gear that's often used for canoeing. For each of their journeys, they select their equipment carefully.
はい、いよいよ本流上部ゴルジュのキャニオニングをスタートします。
The water at the bottom is noticeably white. The name Seti itself means white in Nepali, from the crushed stone particles dissolved in the river. The temperature is -4 degrees Celsius. However, the sunlight is causing the snow to melt. They're concerned that the water level may rise. They reel in the rope they entered with to make further use of it later.
はい、ロープ抜けました。これで後戻りはできないです。
With no way back, they stare into the unknown. The path ahead will depend entirely on their prowess.
いやー、行っちゃいましたね。ついに我々の足の踏み入れられないところへですね。
They set their time limit for return as sundown. At night, they run a high risk of death from hypothermia. Greeting them abruptly is a 60-meter-tall waterfall. Three hours until suddenly, a panoramic expanse appears before their eyes. Now, on to the main gorge. The height of the cliff face exceeds 400 meters. In comparison, the end of the narrow gorge appears as nothing more than a crack in the rock. The main gorge is magnificent in its scale. They climb the rope toward the surface. In their exhausted state, the 160-meter ascent feels even longer. The two explorers risked their lives and returned unscathed. They're committed to witnessing the depths with their own eyes and would have it no other way.
この下に行かないと見えない景色だったりとか、いろんな感覚ですよね。流れと水の流れの力だったり、そういうものを体験しに行くんですよ。それは降りないとわからない。
限界に挑戦していくっていうのに近いことだと思うんですよ。自分が気持ちが折れないところまで進んでいく。かつちゃんと生きて帰れる判断をしてっていう、だからあっさり引くとかないんですよ。しぶといです。
Created. A scientific investigation is taking place. Sakai points out a distinct ground feature that can be seen above the snow. A fault, the result of massive ground movements. In the region around the Seti Gorge. This constant flow of water into the fault may have carved out this deep valley. The sharp mountain ridges formed above the gorge are the result of a spectacle unlike nearly anything else on the planet. Sakai is currently focused on the mountain peaks Annapurna 3 and 4. Water flows from these mountains into the gorge. The saddle between peaks is known as a col, a curious empty space. The sharp peaks seem to slope toward this area.
針山が5000メートルのコルのすぐ下まで続いてますから、やはりこれはコルの部分が山体崩壊したとしかちょっと説明のしようがないと思いますね。
Is massive collapse theory. As landslides from massive above the gorge is composed of a fragile rock layer. Judging from the anything they've ever seen. Onishi is stationed on the cliffside. The passage to the narrow gorge is located here. Tanaka and Onishi seem no larger than mere insects, crawling on the side of the cliff. Their safe return location for their final end. The steep surface is covered with tiny crumbling rocks.
こんなとこで滑ったら心臓止まるもん。来たー。折れちゃいましたね。意外とね。怖かったけど、ああ、これだ。
They make their way down the rope around 50 meters away from the waterfall.
ようという。
すごいな。
やばいですね。
高いな。
The unexpected occurs.
うわ、風向き悪い。
A sudden gust of wind starts blowing mist from the waterfall. The water temperature is close to freezing, and their climbing suits aren't water resistant. They end up soaked from head to toe. At just past 2 p.m., they finally reach the It's 400 meters back to the surface. at just past 8 p.m. The NHK staff at the base camp see lights approaching.
お疲れ様です。はあ、無事で、疲れた。無事で何よりです。はい。
やっぱすごい谷ですよね。スケールがやっぱ半端なかったですね。
ね、このやり残し終わったんですっきりです。はい。
4 years in the making, the expedition finally comes to an end.
またすごいもの見れましたね。今までの経験をさらに上回るようなものすごいもの見れましたね。はい、美しくもあるし、まあすごいとにかく、まあ、荘厳でもあるし怖くもあるし、いろんなもんですよ。だから今人間ができることをやったから。
This was mankind's first journey into the Seti Gorge. "75 waterfalls were discovered over a distance of 3.5 kilometers. With them, a new map was written. Just like this formerly untouched frontier, many more locations on this planet still await our arrival.